You're knowing what you're wanting. It evolves. You like that. You are all right with having a desire that has not manifested. You see, when you're there, only one honest person in the whole room. When you are there, though, when you have desires that have not yet manifested fully, but you're still feeling good, that means you are in vibrational resonance with the fulfillment of the desire, which means you're on the path, you're on the track. It means you're not introducing any resistance with your awareness that it hasn't happened yet. And in that not introducing of resistance and in that resonance with it, then not only must it come, and relatively soon, but you're having a nice ride on the way to it. That's nice, isn't it? It's hard for you to hear, but it's that ride on the way to it that you all came for. None of you said, I'll go there and get it done. Because you all knew that there is no getting it done. You knew that you never get it done. You knew that you can't get it wrong and you never get it done. And you expected it to be pleasurable along the way. So if it's pleasurable along the way, then all is well. You're in resonance. You're fulfilling your reason for being here. You're tuned in, tapped in, turned on. Life is unfolding just the way you planned. But if you're feeling anxious or frustration or anger or guilt or blame or worse, if you're feeling depressed or powerless, then those feelings are an indication that whatever you're focused upon has got a vibration activated within you that is causing you to introduce resistance into your vibrational equation, and everything about your happiness, everything about your productivity, everything about your success, and from our point of view, success really is happiness, but you call it other things like gathering of assets or gathering of wonderful relationships, all of that. We want all of that for you. But when you begin understanding the balance of energy within you, and you understand that everything is only about that, then life becomes fun. We get why you don't really know that it's about your own vibrational balance, because your own vibrational balance is so often affected by your observation of what's going on with others. So you associate it with them rather than with you. You don't accept that it's a focusing thing with you. You think it's a behavioral thing with them that you just happen to be focused upon. If you weren't doing that, I wouldn't be noticing it. So if you'll stop doing it, I'll feel better. And we say, if you'll stop noticing it, you'll feel better too. Yeah, but they're doing it right in front of me. And how can I not notice something that's going on right in front of me? Well, you have to practice. Yeah, but if I ignore them, then there's a whole world of pain around that. And we say, you sort of do that to each other. As you got started early on, you noticed that your behavior did affect opinions of others. And so we're just going to say to you in a very blunt way, just to get things off on the right foot here, you played to their opinion instead of to your own alignment. And we know sometimes they made it necessary. Try disobeying the people at the airport who don't want you to carry your scissors through. They make you yield. They say, if you're going to play in this game, then you've got to play by our rules. And so it seems like there were a lot of games you wanted to play in, like if your mother withheld food when you were bad. She never did that, huh? Who are you people? Or when your peers expect a behavior from you, and so you begin to comply just so that you can fit in. So we'll just say it simply. We don't need to draw this out. Without meaning to, you played to their opinions, which meant you separated yourself from your own vibrational guidance system, that let you know what the balance of vibration going on within you is. And so as you become less aware, we're not talking about you specifically, but mass consciousness in general, who is made up of a lot of yous, became sort of detached from what felt good to you as you began to play to what felt good to others. And in the process, you sort of lost yourself. And that's really what this gathering is about. It's about helping you to push the reset button, to restore yourself to your own guidance system. Because when you're able to understand the vibration that you're offering in relationship to the vibration of that larger part of you, and you're able to bring yourself into vibrational alignment, that's where ease is. That's when you feel clarity. That's when you feel vitality. That's when you are at your most frisky. That's when you feel the most adventurous. That's when you feel the most eager and passionate about life. That's when you feel appreciation and love. When you feel any of those emotions, you're not experiencing any split energy. You've not introduced in this moment, which is where all your power is and where all your guidance is, where all your emotion is, where all your resonance or not is. When you feel your emotions are letting you know what your vibrational mix is. And if you don't pay attention to what your mix is, it just becomes a stronger mix, because law of attraction is a very powerful thing, isn't it? Have you been listening to us for a while? Are you aware of the powerful law of attraction? Have you made it your friend? Because law of attraction is always responding to whatever vibration you've got going. When you think a thought and you focus there for as little as 17 seconds, momentum ensues. Because once you cross that 17-second mark, another thought like it joins it. And as you keep that going, more and more and more momentum happens, which means more and more attraction power. So picture a tug of war. Picture two equally strong people pulling on each end of a rope. And they are so balanced in their strength and in their intention that as they're tugging, nothing is happening. It's not going one way or the other. But imagine if one were much stronger, more pulling power. Now, it's not a perfect analogy. No analogy ever is. But we want you to begin understanding that you've got this balance of vibration going on within you, and that you were born with a very powerful leaning and pulling toward. Law of attraction calling you toward. It's like a vortex that creates enough centrifugal force that it just draws you right in. It's a vibration of well-being. It's where your clarity and your stamina and your wellness comes from. It's a powerful, powerful, powerful energy. And if you were never introducing resistance to it, you would be thriving all the time. So often you say, well, then why would I come into an environment where it is not only possible, but probable that I will introduce some resistance into my vibrational pattern? Why would I do that? And why didn't somebody get it all figured out before I got here so that I didn't do that? And we want you to understand that you came specifically wanting to express yourself in an environment where your thoughts produced response, because you are a creator. And creating is something that is your nature, but it is also something that is your life. It is also something that is the reason for the expansion of all that is. So the very continuation of that which we all are is about new thoughts, new ideas, new expansion. So you knew that this time-space reality would be a perfect environment with enough variety that you would be able to focus yourself within it and come to your own personal choices. And you also knew that without that variety that you could not focus. And you also knew that the choices that you made or would be making are important. So you dived right in, knowing that the variety was there, not expecting to be complicit, not expecting to be one who just went along with what somebody else wanted. You came expecting there to be enough variety that you would come to your own conclusions, that your own personal desires would hatch within you. And you knew that that hatching of a new desire and that movement of the energy that happens when a new desire is hatched, you knew that that would be life-giving. You almost knew that it would be breathtaking. You knew that you would like it, and so you came forth. So we've been explaining that to you by saying you were non-physical energy before you came into this physical body, and even though you're in this physical body, there's a larger part of you who still remains that non-physical energy. So you have the potential in your physical body to become, in any moment, a vibrational match to that broader perspective or to separate yourself from it. Now, isn't it logical that there would be a sort of normal separation as you are reaching into that which is new. If source energy has become as a result of all that has been lived, then isn't it logical that you've come forth into a new environment to go into new expansive experiences? And when you do, there is a momentary, and we're using that word lightly, we would like it to be a momentary. There is a momentary, separation is too strong of word, but difference in your vibration. In other words, when you're reaching to a place that you have not been before, there is a reaching into a vibration that does not feel normal to you. That vibration is different from the vibration that you have previously established. Now, when you reach in full resonance with the source within you, the reaching isn't frightening, the reaching isn't uncomfortable, the reaching is life-giving. The reaching feels like adventure and excitement and passion and enthusiasm. But when you reach vibrationally, without the resonance, without the alignment, without the blending, without the full allowing of all that you are, then that's when you feel uncomfortable. That's when you feel negative emotion. That's when you feel overwhelmed, or that's when you feel frightened. So everything that you feel is about the vibrational relationship between who you really are as a source energy being and who you're being right here, right now, as a result of what you're focused upon. And if you can get it, that in every moment that you are reaching, Source is appreciating you and adoring you, so that you are less likely to be condemning yourself for whatever reason or anyone else, you will go a long way in bridging or closing that gap between you and you. We're going to be talking about a lot of things here today, but the basis of everything that we're talking about ever is about you as an extension of source energy, your work here in this physical body, exploring and expanding, and most important of all, the joy that you are able to discover and align with in this process. Because not one of you said, I'll go forth and fix something that's broken. I'll go forth and put this world back on track. I'll go forth and plug up the holes of things that are not going well. I'll go forth and make a name for myself. I'll go forth and everyone will follow me into the place of perfection. Not one of you said anything like that. Instead, you said, I'm a creator, and I have the wind of creation at my back, and Source adores me and is flowing to me and through me. And I have the ability and the right to choose from among everything I see, those things that I would like to flow my creative attention toward. And when I do, in resonance with the source within me, that energy will flow to me and through me for the fulfillment of my desires, and the world will expand as a result of my focus here. That's really what you said. You didn't say, I'll decide who's right on this issue, and I'll join them against them. You did not say, I will sift through all of the data, I will put the results of life in piles, and I will acknowledge that is a good pile and that is a bad pile. That pile is right and that pile is wrong. Not one of you said, I'll use the wrong pile to push against, because you knew if you pushed against what you considered to be wrong, that you wouldn't push it away, you wouldn't exclude it from your experience. You knew that you were moving into a universe, into a physical time-space reality that was based upon law of attraction. You knew there was only inclusion, and you knew that whatever you give your attention to, you begin vibrating about. So you didn't say, I'll go forth and find the things that are wrong and I'll join the clubs that push hard against them, because you knew all you would do is activate within yourself the very resistance to your own ideal. You weren't going to do that. You said, I'll go forth and I'll choose, and once I choose what I prefer, I will give my undivided attention to it. I will resonate with my preferences, but I will not condemn the things that I do not want, because in this universe it is based upon attraction. When you say no to something, it's like saying yes to it. Come to me, this thing I do not want, and present yourself to me in all manner of ways so that I can get bigger and stronger and louder in pushing against you until finally I have depleted my resources, because I am disallowing the true power of my being, which is the resonance that you find from Source.